These things happen.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us as we welcome Shaunda Bellamy, Community Liaison, Dementia Friendly America Initiative, Prince George's County. And I thought our name was wrong. And also the president of Pickett Fences Senior Services. Thank you for being here with us today for Community Conversations.
Yeah.
Our platform here is to be able to give people information and to answer questions that people might have. And obviously our topic is dementia today. And this is a subject that's near and dear to my heart. My mother passed from Alzheimer's. And the caregiving piece is really a challenge. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But could you tell us about what the mission is for Dementia Friendly Prince George's County?
Sure. So with Dementia Friendly Prince George's County, our primary goal is to create awareness and a respectful and accommodating community that embraces the citizens living with dementia, their family members, and the caregivers.
Excellent. And how do you work to fulfill this mission?
So in order to fulfill the mission, we have several activities that we provide in Prince George's County. And so those things are memory cafes, memory support groups, caregiver support groups, and also memory training as well for those who are in the early stages of Alzheimer's, and a lot of dementia education as well.
Right. And are we seeing a rise in dementia or just more awareness of people having it?
Awareness, because a lot of times you'll hear people say that, they've never heard of so many people having Alzheimer's and dementia. But in the past, I think we've kind of, hit it. There's a stigma associated with it. And so, we weren't really open about it. And so Dementia Friendly America is all about being inclusive and making sure those individuals are still able to thrive in the community, even as the illness progresses.
Sure. How did you get involved in this work?
So I became involved with Dementia Friendly America through Gloria Lala. She's the former Secretary of Aging for the state of Maryland. And she's actually considered our community lead for Dementia Friendly. And I am the community liaison. And so when she talked to me about the mission of DFA, I knew that it was something that I had to be involved in because I have several family members who have been impacted by dementia, Alzheimer's to be more specific. And so, and when I found out about, basically that it would be something that we can ensure that those who have dementia are not taken advantage of, they're, you're able to make sure they're safe and, able to thrive in the community as well. And so that's basically how I got involved.
Sure. So could you clarify the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's? Because I think people use them interchangeably, right?
Yes. And so Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia.
Okay.
There's many forms of dementia, but Alzheimer's is the most common form. And so a lot of times you'll hear people, that they have Parkinson's disease, but that's still a form of dementia they could have. And an individual with diabetes or high blood pressure could have vascular dementia. So there's many different forms of dementia, and Alzheimer's is one form. It's just the most common form.
Okay, thank you. I know there's a lot of uncertainty about that. What are some key factors that everyone should know about dementia?
So I would say some key factors would be that you could live like in the community and live a good life, even with dementia. Also, that it's not a normal part of aging, that, as we age, normally we may tend to forget a person's name. And so that's a normal part of aging. And I'm sorry, maybe I need to turn down my speaker. You said you're getting some echoes. Okay. And so dementia, it's a normal part. It's not a normal part of aging. And so, we tend to misplace our keys. And so when we misplace our keys, that could just be a normal part of aging. But when you're looking at that key and you don't know what you should do with that key, like it's used to pick up your car or it's used to open your door, that's something to be aware of. Also, dementia is a disease. It's caused by diseases of the brain. And it's not just about memory loss. So individuals will have issues with spatial judgment, and also issues with mobility. And I know I often use my uncle as an example when I share information about Alzheimer's, and that he had issues with judging, like spatial distance. And so he was actually at a railroad crossing sitting on the track. And so a train hit him, cut the car in half that he was driving. And so thank God, like, he came out of the accident like no harm.
Wow.
And this was at a time when we were actually trying to get a diagnosis for him. And so just even, that spatial judgment, what's normal as we age is like cataracts or something like that.
Gray hair.
Yeah. But that's some of the things that I would say. That dementia is not a normal part of aging.
Yeah. Okay. And do they diagnose it more easily now? Because it seems like it was one of those things in the past that was more difficult to diagnose.
I'm gonna put on my headphones.
Sure.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
Okay, so I have the wrong headphones. Maybe I'll try to just not talk as loud.
I think we're going to try and bring in Miss Irma now and see if she's able to hear. Let's give it a shot. Hi, everyone. This is Nick in the background here. Miss Irma is working on some tech things, so we apologize for this minor interruption, but we don't want you to miss out on her because she's fabulous. Can you hear us now, Miss Irma? I think we've got a bit of a delay. Okay, we'll keep going without. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay.
So Nick is just going to mute you when I ask a question, but I'm not hearing an echo now, so I think we're okay.
Okay.
So I was asking about the diagnosis of dementia. Is it easier to diagnose now than it used to be?
I wouldn't say that it's easier, but I think more research is being done around Alzheimer's and other dementias, and a lot of studies. And so more individuals are participating in studies. There's still an issue with getting African Americans involved in participating in studies. And so I know that's something that Howard University is actually working on to try to get individuals, African Americans, in fact, because the numbers are, higher. So we're twice as likely as others to be impacted by the illness, but we're not participating in the studies. And so, and that also impacts, like, how medication is developed as well. Sure. So I wouldn't say that it's easier. I would just say that it's more research being done and more awareness, because with receiving a diagnosis, say Dementia Friendly America, we provide memory screenings. And so it's just basically a baseline that I think back in the day, it was called like a mini mental. And so it's testing your abilities, whether, you can recall information, how you're remembering, and without giving the questions away, but it's some simple things that, if a person with dementia, it would be hard for them to respond to those questions. But individuals who are normally aging, it's not, it's very simple to them and they think it's very easy. But a person with dementia would have a rough time, like getting through that process. And so when a person falls below a certain threshold, we provide a document for them. They're able to take it to their physician to receive further testing, because just that alone, just not, falling below the threshold, that's not enough, because you could have fell below the threshold because, your diabetes is not regulated, or your high blood pressure is not regulated, or new medications that could cause memory loss. So it's a series of tests. And so sticking with those tests and actually making sure that your physician is not just saying this is a normal part of aging, because we find that a lot as well, that some physicians just want to say it's, well, you're getting older and everything isn't about age. And so you just really, well, that's with any illness, you really have to advocate for yourself.
Right. And I think what you just said about advocating is very important, because family members listening, it really helps. I remember a time when my mother called me and said, I don't remember how to write a check. She had a checkbook in front of her, but she didn't know what to do with it. This is a woman who kept our family finances forever, right? And so I said, Mom, that doesn't sound right. Are you sure? And so we had some more conversations, and, it wasn't too long after that she was diagnosed. But I think, that empathy and that awareness is really important. Can you offer some other tips for caregivers? Because it's such a cruel disease, and it's such a difficult time for people, especially when they're able-bodied otherwise.
God's work. And so, and it truly is. And so the biggest difference that you can make in caregiving for someone with dementia. Oh, I have another.
Oh, you got some help there.
Yes. That's my production team.
Oh, good.
And so, what was I saying? So I normally
caregivers.
Yeah, so I normally tell them that they're doing God's work, because it truly is God's work, and also that caregivers can make the biggest difference in, just the quality of life for the person that they're caring for. And the key is to have patience. And so, and to really understand that their brain is going through so many different changes. And so something that may have been an easy task for them before, just like your mom said to you, like she couldn't write the checks anymore. And something as simple as brushing the teeth may not even be as easy anymore. And so they may look at the brush in the bathroom, the hairbrush, to brush the teeth. And so you have to have patience with them. And also, I would say that caregivers should also seek help if needed. And so respite care, if they need that break, because caregiving, caregiving for an individual who's not impacted by dementia is a lot. But then with a person with dementia, it's a little different, because those people are no longer able to make judgment calls about safety and things like that. And so you may not be able to rest at night because you're afraid that they may fall out of the bed. And so a caregiver may, I watched my aunt really decline while she was taking care of my uncle. And so, and it was because she was working full time, and it was her older brother. And so, but she, so lack of sleep. And so, that, you need the assistance, don't feel guilty about it, that help that you need. And so, I'm sorry that Miss Irma couldn't get on, because she wanted to share so many other tips about some practical things that she's doing. And so one of the things that she does, she has the Ring doorbell. Mm-hmm. So if she does go out and leave her husband at home, he's still in the early stages where she's able to go to the grocery store and come back. But she has that Ring doorbell. So if someone does come there while, she's away, she's able to, make sure that he does not open the door, because I think she also has some app on her phone to lock the door as well. Sure. And so those are some of the things that she's doing for her husband. But also one final thing I would say for the caregiver is not to be combative with the person who has dementia. And it'll cut down on frustration for the caregiver and the person you're caring for. And so, I use my uncle as an example a lot. And I remember going down to North Carolina to relieve my aunt, just to let her go home and take, basically I was providing respite. And so my uncle kept referring to me as my cousin, and my cousin is like in her 80s. And so in his age range. And so I said, well, do I look like I'm in my 80s? It's like, I don't know how old you look, but I know that you're blah, blah, blah. So but then when I saw pictures of her when she was younger, I looked so much like her. And so I understood. So that's where he was. So that was, he was in that time frame when I looked like, that age. And so I would say live in their moment. Wherever they are, just live in that moment, and it'll cut down on the frustration of trying to make them remember what day of the week it is. And, if they say it's Monday and it's Friday, just go with it that it's Monday until they come back. But, just to cut down on the frustration.
Yeah, and I remember my sister going to visit my mother when she was at a point where we couldn't care for her anymore. And a lot of residents thought my sister was their daughter. And she used to just say hi to mom to every one of them and hug their neck, She said, sure, I'll be everyone's daughter. So there is a lot of empathy.
Yeah.
What other resources in Prince George's County for caregivers of people living with dementia are available?
So the Department of Family Services has various programs available for caregivers in the county. And so one particular program is the Family Caregiver Program. And with that program, it assists caregivers in like making decisions, connecting to resources that they need in the county. Another program is the Caregiver Grant Fund, which is open right now, but it's on a first come, first served basis. And so, and once the funds are gone in that year, they're gone, but it's open right now. There's an increase in the amount that you could actually receive this year for that fund, but it's called the Caregiver Grant Fund. And so you could use that fund to for what you need for caregiving. So it could be respite care, it could be, supplies that you may need. But the key to that program is that you must have a caregiver. So there's also the incontinence supply closet that the Department of Family Services has. And so you can get some in-home medical supplies if the caregiver is in need of it. And then one of the programs that I'm very happy about that the Department of Family Services provides is the Alert and Return program. And so with the Alert and Return program, it's providing a GPS tracking bracelet for the individual who has dementia, any form of dementia. And so if that person wanders off, you're able to track them down within minutes. Whereas we've had people in Prince George's County in recent years who passed away because they wandered off from home. You remember the gentleman that wandered off, I think it was at a Costco or something like that, or maybe Sam's in College Park. And so, that Alert and Return program is something that will cut down on having a negative impact when a person wanders off.
We're going to try on Miss Irma one more time here. We've got a whole MacGyvered situation ready to roll, and we think it might work. So we're going to be typing the questions to Miss Irma, who can see them, and then we'll be able to hear her, but she can't hear us is our issue here. So we're going to bring Miss Irma back.
Okay. And I'd like to give a phone number as well for Department of Family Services. With the Alert and Return program, it's providing a GPS tracking bracelet. So I think it was a delay with her. I heard myself talking.
I think she's got her phone still going.
Okay. So that phone number for Department of Family Services would be 301-265-8450. And one final program I would like to talk about is the Department of Social Services also has a respite care program. And that phone number is 301-909-2091. And so that's also a program that caregivers could tap into as well. we also work closely with the Alzheimer's Association. And so our Prince George's County local office, we have a new person that is kind of managing that office. And her name is Tara Davis Rama. Her number is 240-844-3609. And so we know the Alzheimer's Association provides community education, caregiver support, memory cafes. And I do know that Irma had some more information she wanted to share. With her. I heard
She's not turning off her phone, unfortunately, so there's a lot of audio distortion happening, and unfortunately I think that's kind of our last shot for it for today, but
okay.
Sorry for interrupting.
Okay.
And so I know that Visiting Angels of Largo, that Visiting Angels is on the Dementia Friendly team. They're one of the vendors for the county respite program. And so the good thing about that, and the reason why I'm mentioning Visiting Angels, is that all of the staff is trained in dementia care.
Okay.
And that's very important, you know, in caring for individuals with dementia, because it's definitely not the same as regular caregiving.
Yeah, and like you said, it's especially when dementia folks lose their ability to communicate, it becomes even trickier, as we know. So those are really great resources. And again, you know, everybody can help by being part of the Alzheimer's Walk, or you know, if they're passionate about it, like you are, getting the training to be a certified champion or a respite care worker. I mean, I think there's a lot of opportunity for folks to jump in and help this community.
Yes, and look, I'm glad you said the walk. So Irma Nicholson has been trying to get on the whole time. On last year, she had the #1 walk team in the county, The Power of Love. And this year, even virtually, I'm just so proud of her. She's still #1 in the county, raising over, I think she's raised over $7,000.
Wow.
And so virtually. And so, but she's doing amazing, and she's very passionate about, you know, Alzheimer's and dementia. And so The Power of Love is the name of the team. So if you want to virtually walk and sign up to walk for her team, you can join her team. It's the Alzheimer's Walk 2020, Prince George's County, The Power of Love, and you have a chance to either donate or walk with the team, or both. And so The Power of Love 2020 is actually the name of the 4-part dementia series that Miss Irma was going to kind of lead into today. So her walk name is the same as the series.
That's lovely.
Right. So we partnered with First Baptist Church of Glenarden, Missions Department, and also the Alzheimer's support group that's at First Baptist, Visiting Angels and Pickett Fences, to host this 4-part series. And the first part was about the brain, just an overview of the brain and the brain functions. The second part dealt with the 10 warning signs. And so you don't need all 10 warning signs to have dementia. And so we kind of educate folks on, you know, if you observe any of these warning signs, to seek medical attention. The third series was about basically the stages of dementia, but the stages of dementia relating them to gems. And so the pearl, which would be the last stage of dementia, is like the most delicate. And so, you know, the person is in their final stages. It's a very, you know, they're very delicate, and they're transitioning. And so that was the third part. And the final part of the series was the caregiver's perspective. And Ms. Irma shared her story about her husband, and she had some friends, some other caregivers who joined her to kind of share their caregiving journey. Because Irma, you know, she's caring for her husband. Those individuals were caring for a parent. And so caring for a husband is even different than caring for a parent. And so they shared that information, and it was wonderful. And one of the things, the highlights for me for that particular session, was that Irma had a video of her husband, Mark. And the video, he's saying, "I don't have Alzheimer's, I have good timers." And so we were, so excited about how many people were able to get on during that time. We had over 310 participants to view that series. And so we're very excited that the Prince George's County Memorial Library System has agreed to host that 4-part series on your platform. And so we thank you for that.
Absolutely. The more we can spread the word, the better, right? Awareness,
Yes.
awareness. Yes. Is Miss Irma going to try to talk, Nick? Or shall we just wait for questions?
Now she's muted her microphone.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get her to unmute it, but the phone is off. Miss Irma, if you can hear me, please unmute your computer.
Okay.
I think we've got her now.
Hello.
Hi.
Can't hear again. Live.
So we can hear you, Miss Irma.
She can't hear us again. Oh boy.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Oh. Hi, I'm Irma Nicholson. I'm sorry I'm having problems with my computer, but I apologize for having a problem with the computer. And I really wanted to get on to share some of my thoughts with Shaunda about the outstanding job that she's doing with Dementia Friendly America initiative and with the picket fences. One of the things that I wanted to add with Shaunda was that one of the service that Dementia Friendly Initiative was having was we presented a 4-part series this spring, and this 4-part series was called Alzheimer's 2020, The Power of Love Until There's a Cure. Then we have care. And at the beginning of the year, God had presented this to me because He wanted me to share my story with other caregivers and people who was dealing with Alzheimer's, or people who was taking care of their loved ones, and they didn't know what to do. And I really wanted to just reach out and to be able to share my thoughts and my ideas with some of the other caregivers within the community. And I was trying to think of a way in which we could do this. But to God's glory, with Shaunda Bellamy and Vicki Kalinsky, who are part of the Dementia Friendly Initiative, I have brought my idea to them as to what could we do to help people out in the community to deal and be made aware about the Alzheimer's. And with that being said, I asked them their ideas, and they said, well, they thought it was a great idea. But, it was like, how are we going to implement that? And it just was just going over my head. And then I went to talk to one of my mentors, Reverend Belinda Gentry of the First Baptist Church at Glen Arden, who's over the mission department. And she knows that I have such a passion about Alzheimer's and trying to help other people deal with this, that she decided that she kept listening to my ideas, and she said, well, Irma, I'm listening to you. And I said, well, I just want to be able to do something about it. So as a result of her listening to my ideas, and as a result of that, Alzheimer's 2020, The Power of Love was birthed out of it. And I just want to take this time to thank her for helping us with this. And with that, we did this 4-part series that we hope to inspire some of the people that watch the 4-part series, that they would get inspired, that they would be uplifted, they would be educated, and we will show them some support and give them awareness about this disease and where they can get resources, and to help other caregivers and individuals to help deal with this day in and day out, because we know that it is not an easy task. It's not an easy task for anyone that's dealing with it, but because of God's grace and His mercy that He gives us every day, we can just make it through. And that's what we're hoping, that this 4-part series, The Power of Love, will come out of this.
Well, the library is happy to host your series on our platform. We get lots of viewers.
And then I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go right ahead.
I can continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. And I just wanted to add about some of the caregivers' tips for dementia. Some of the tips that I use is that I want all caregivers out there to know that you are not alone. When you think that there's no one, you are not alone, because there are people out here to help you. And, you know, you can get the help by joining a support group. And, you know, in terms of joining a support group, not one support group might not be the right one. You might have to shop around to get the one that's going to just go with your particular need. You want to try to get family members involved. And then, as I said, when you join the support group, you will join a support group where people are not going to just look at you as being, okay, I'm saying that I'm not liking this because of what I'm going through. No one is going to judge you for going and saying what you really feel. You want to be in an environment where people they understand you, because everyone is going through the same situation, maybe at a different level, at a different point, but just know that you're not alone. You're not going to be judged for the way that you're feeling, because unless you are able to tell someone and release what you are feeling inside, then that is going to make you sick. You cannot keep that. You cannot bury that by yourself. You need to be able to share exactly what you are feeling and release it without having anyone to judge you. And the other point I would say is that learn the 10 warning signs so that you can deal with each one at each stage of the disease that you're going through. Because, again, no two people go through Alzheimer's dementia the same way. And some people, it goes fast. Some people, it goes a long time. My husband has been dealing with Alzheimer's for 13 years. And 13 years, by the grace of God, he still have laughter and joy. And one of the funny things, my husband, and one thing that I have learned with going to support group is stop thinking about what you have lost and remember the things that you still have. And for me, my husband still have a lot of laughter and joy. One of the things he tells me all the time is, Irma, he asked me, he said, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm getting ready to get on another Zoom. It's dealing with a support group, dealing with Alzheimer's. He tells me, he said, well, I don't have Alzheimer's. I have good timers. And he just laughs. So, you know, to him, it's good. So I look at what I have that's there. You want to just remember each day that you have your loved ones and the moments that you have, the smile that they can give you, the laughter, or even some tears, just music. Music is a thing that caregivers and I would say that the people dealing with dementia, they love, because they can always go back. When you go back, you remember those good times. And that's what we wanted to, for you guys to remember, that don't think about so much about what is being lost around you. Still think about those things that are good, that you can still hold on to and have memories that for times that are going to probably even get even worse. And another thing I would tell you is to take care of yourself. Now, we know when we get on an airplane, they tell you first, if something happening, you put on your mask. You put on your mask so that you can take care of yourself. That's what you want to do as a caregiver, because so many times, and I tell you, I'm guilty of it, our loved ones are always going to be taken care of because we are taking care of them. But who's taking care of us? You have to be able to take care of yourself. Take some time, pull away from your distraction, even if it's for a half an hour. Do devotionals, do some time of just walking around the house. Just do things that brings about joy or some cheer to you. Don't get so involved into being a caregiver that you forget about yourself. Always take time for yourself. And then make sure that your home is safety proof. You want to make sure that as you look around your home, if you're going to be a caregiver, look for tripping hazards. Look for, people have talked about some of their loved ones still want to cook. If you have a stove, you want to take the knobs off the stove, or you want to do something with the electricity. You want to just think about things that are going to cause harm to your loved one. But again, you have to think about yourself. And then, you want, as Shaunda has said about installing the Ring doorbell and security cameras and all. That is like safety for him and it's safety for me. I can still do things for myself, but yet at the same time, make sure that he's taken care of and feel safe while I'm going out. And the Ring doorbell, the information will let you be made aware. And I have given my husband a phone, just a little, what they call a little burner phone, just with my number and some of his family members. And when I'm out, I call the number and I just say, he said, how long are you going to be gone? And see, he can still communicate because, again, we know that each caregiver and their loved ones are at different stages. So for him, he can still communicate. So for me, for people who are in the early stages or in the middle stages, this might be something that you can do to help your loved one to still be able to communicate and you still be able to go out and do something to help yourself. And then, again, finding resources, which Shaunda have talked about. Finding resources. When you join a support group, they give you resources on top of resources. We know that we need time for ourselves. And for the county, they have respite care. Everybody know that you need a little bit of time from your loved one. So respite care would be something terrific, yes, to get away, even if it's for a few hours or a day, so that you can have time for yourself. And then the Alzheimer's have a 24/7 hotline. When you are by yourself and your loved one is has done something and you don't know what to do, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, you don't know who to call. Call the Alzheimer's 24/7 hotline, and they will have someone there to be able to help you to deal with whatever the situation that you're dealing with. And since I'm talking about the Alzheimer's, we have our Alzheimer Walk, which is coming up on September the 19th, which the name of our group is The Power Love, which is I love it. I love the name The Power Love because God gave me that name. He said it's going to be His power and our love for our loved ones. That's the caregivers that's going to get us through all of this. So I named my walk team The Power Love because I feel that it is the amount of love that we give our loved ones. And everyone that is on our team is just been so supportive of me and other caregivers So I just want to invite anyone that's on this call to be a part of the walk team. And this year, because of the pandemic, the Alzheimer's Walk is everywhere in every neighborhood. No one have to fear being in crowds anymore. You can walk anywhere within your neighborhood with your family members and just show your support. And the Power of Love team, we would just love to have you as part of our team member to continue this walk to find a cure for this debilitating and this dreadful disease. And, I just want to thank the library for taking this time to help us get this message out, because it was my one wish was that God would help us to be able to reach all the people within the PG County to let them know that Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States. And here we don't have a cure. And Prince George's, we have so many people that are out here with this dreadful disease, and to be out here and not know what to do about it. And that's what I wanted to do. That was my plan. That was my vision, in which God has given me to help people to get the word out. And that's why I am so thankful to the Prince George's County Memorial Library System for allowing this to be hosted as part of your program, this Alzheimer's 4-part series, Alzheimer's 2020, The Power of Love. I just thank you guys, and you just made my day and a whole bunch of people in Prince George's County by stepping up and just allowing your system to be used to help all of our future citizens here in Prince George's County. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And of course, this is what the library's for. The library's for giving out information. And I think Ms. Shaunda has some contact information she wanted to share for Dementia Friendly Teams.
Yes. So in the beginning, we talked about what the mission is for Dementia Friendly. However, I did not tell you how our team is divided up. And so we're broken up into 3 geographical areas to serve the over 900,000 residents in the county. Our North County lead is Crystal Beatty, and our Mid-County lead is Donna Crocker Mason, and our South County lead is Dr. Flavia Walton. All of the teams, I see we're running out of time, so they did give me some information for things that are coming up, but I won't share that, but I'll share phone numbers for how you can actually get in contact with those teams. So North County is 50 and above in Prince George's County. The Mid-County area consists of 50 all the way down to Pennsylvania Avenue. And the South County is Pennsylvania Avenue and below. And so in the North County, if you're in that area, you can contact 240-542-2033 for Crystal Beatty. She has a lot of activities that are coming up soon that you would love. I mean, it would be great for you to participate in. We also have for South County, Dr. Flavia Walton. She can be contacted at 301-965-0396. In Mid-County, we have Donna Crocker Mason. You could actually call Pickett Fences for her, 301-358-2066, or email us at dementiafriendly@pickettfences.org for some of the activities coming up. Donna is the only UCLA certified memory trainer in Prince George's County. And so she's actually teaching some memory training through the SAGE program at Prince George's Community College this fall. And I believe those classes start on October 15th. So if you're interested, you're worried about memory issues and you're starting to forget some things, she can actually train, provide some memory training to help you hold on to those things that you feel like you're losing.
Mm-hmm. I'd also like to promote that the library has a lot of information through our databases, our EBSCO databases. We have Health Source Consumer Edition. We have Health Source Nursing and Academic Edition. And we also have consumer medication information. So folks can log on to those databases through pgcmls.information. And I would just like to personally thank you both, but also recommend a fiction book by Lisa Genova. If you have not read Still Alice, it's also a movie. It really talks about, even though it's fiction, it's based on fact, talks about what it's like from the perspective of the person who has the disease. And, you know, it's, as we know, a very, very debilitating, cruel disease. So it's nice to know that they're still in there someplace, that they can experience joy, as Miss Irma said, that music is a great conduit to helping. And again, because of all the resources we have in Prince George's County, caregivers are not alone. So I thank you both for spreading this joyful message. I am going to join the Power of Love team in honor of my mother. And we encourage everybody to do that. If you have any additional questions, again, reach out to Picket Fences, the Alzheimer's organization, or Dementia Friendly America, Prince George's County. We are here to help you. So thank you all and have a great evening.